part 3. We're going to start putting some work in on the bass voice, starting with the bass voice. Above it, I have the bass voice that I wrote. Okay, and underneath it is what I ended up morphing that part to. So let's walk through my logic here. To me, it's real simple. I've got a skip from an E to a G, right? So it made sense for me to take this E, this measure, and turn it to half notes to go from E to F to G. My goal is, as much as possible, to have stepwise motion. All right? So E goes to F, goes to G. Now, this 5 chord, that's a G. Don't know why. This is where it becomes very subjective. It's what you're hearing in your head and your listening experience, all the things that are in your head and your heart, the kind of music you like. I decided I wanted to spell out the G chord. I did a triad: G, B, D, right? Half note, quarter, quarter. It breaks up rhythmically, so it's not the same as the previous measure. I'm still going the same direction, and you notice that there's 2 skips here, of G to a B and a B to a D, 2 skips of a third. Guess what? That is allowed, but you shouldn't have more. Again, what's with the 4th thing? You shouldn't have more than 2 skips in a row of a third. So you can put 2 thirds in a row, which allows you to spell out a chord, and I did that. G, B, D. Now, here's where I had to change things up, and this is where it's going to start altering the original line we wrote. If I skip up like this, I have to step back, and the note to step back to is a C. Well, my original note was an A. Guess what? I have to change it. I just do. So I change it to a C, and that's, of course, that's going to change what we do with the top voice. So you're seeing how this works. The reason I did this is because I was kind of hearing this line in my head. So I'll play it for you. That's a real singable line. So I did the C, and notice how I stayed in A in this measure. Well, I'm not going back to that A. Why? Because look where my line's going. I could have changed this line and set in stone target these notes, but I chose not to. I very well could have. But this line is moving up. So it's like, this is an A minor chord, so I go to another chord tone. It's the 5th, so sue me, I broke another rule. But that's what I'm hearing in my head. Now, I skipped up a third from A to C. I can step up in the same direction, and I did because this E is right next to the F. Oh my gosh, it's an F chord. So you can see I started with these voices here, these whole note voices, and it got me started, but now as I'm getting into the meat of it, I'm changing things up because the line is going that way. F. Now come back to the D. Now, why do I go to a D? Well, a couple reasons. One thing is that the last note is a C. The strongest move towards tonic, believe it or not, is from a step above. Now, I could have gone bottom, half step below to C, B to C, but instead I chose to go, I want to go D, C. Again, the bass voice, I believe, should take us back home in the strongest way possible. So I decided to go from a D down to the C. Now, again, I broke a rule here, and I'm just not sure I'm going to like it much, but we'll see down the road if I have to go back and change it, because I skipped down from a G down to a D. You'd think I would go back up to the E. I could have done that. But I wanted this, the D, C. So maybe what I could have done, I could have gone F, E, D, C, and I might end up doing that in the future. But let's hang tight with this and let's see what happens. So I've got it sounds good to me. It's a single note. Ba, bum, bum, ba da dum, bum, ba dum, bum, bum. So there you have it. That's the bass voice. I've had to alter what I did before, and I'm not afraid to do that. Now, like I said, this is subjective. If I, at any point along this process, I could have chosen a different note, and it would have taken me in a different direction. This is just my current solution for this. So we'll continue on. And again, if I have to fix this later because of what I'm going to do in the other voices, hey, I will do that. But now we're getting ready to go to the next part where I'm now going to address the second voice, the tenor voice, if you will. All right? Mr. G out.